Hi, and welcome to a painting process video where you're going to see me paint this painting. Hi, my name is Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist from the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 25 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So usually I tend to record these intros before I even finish the video, but this time around I was lazy. I just wanted to get to the painting, and I actually got the painting done. And now I'm doing the intro to the video where you actually get to see me paint this out. So this painting is going to be given away to one of my Patreon patrons on Patreon. So if you at any level, wherever you are, you're going to basically be put in a drawing as long as you're a patron. Depending on what tier you are is how many times your name is included. So depending on how of your support tier, your name gets put into the drawing as many times as the contribution. So I didn't know what would happen or how this was going to turn out. That's usually what happens, especially when you're doing traditional, is that the moment you start, you have no idea where it's going. So that's no different in this time around. You're going to see me just kind of just jump and do what I think might work and might not work, and I don't know what's going to happen, and I had no plan, and I'm just going to see what happens. So that's kind of the way that I like to approach some of this stuff, and it makes it that much more exciting to me, because otherwise it just becomes kind of paint by numbers. So you're going to see that part of the process. The other thing about this video is that I don't speed anything up. I spent most of the time just talking about everything that I'm doing, so I figured that I might as well just let it run in real time so you could actually see the entire process in real time. Nothing sped up, so you can see how long it actually takes. But then because of that though, I take more time explaining all my decisions. So there you go. So hopefully you're going to get a lot out of it. Okay, so without any further ado, here's the video. So as I've done in the past videos, I've drawn the drawing ahead of time to save me time, so I could just focus on the painting. One of the things that I'm concerned about is that I'm not 100% sure I really worked out the lighting. So sometimes I like not to put too much detail. I don't like to really work out the face very fully, like linearly. I don't like to work out all these little things. I like to just kind of leave some graphic representation, just because that way I could actually see, in a way, the final product. This time around, I really drew a little bit more than I usually do, and because of that, it's kind of throwing me off. It's making me question whether or not this is going to be okay or not. So I'm going to start like I usually do, or I did the last time I should say, by just blocking in where I'm going to put all the dark. And I'm just going to be very careless about it. Well, somewhat careless. I'm just going to like inking, and I am not going to do what I've done in the past, which is I'm not gonna put line work first. I've done the line work before first. This time around I'm not gonna do that. I'm also using purple, which is something that I usually don't do. So I'm using purple. I'm actually dipping my water brush in water. I don't necessarily want everything to be dark right away. I want to kind of build to dark. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the darkest darks. The darkest darks being the parts where the darkness is just going to be, the shadow is going to be just masked into it. There's gonna be more darkness in there. Um, and if I've done this correctly, it's going to already come together just at this stage, if I've done it correctly. Otherwise, it's going to be tricky. So I every time I go back into my paint and I start putting in the darks, I do it mostly. I do it in the areas that I think are going to be darkest of all, because that way, if I over darken, I could always pull back. Okay, so this is where I'm. Oh well, I'll just keep going here and do this. So there's. I'm going to be coming up to the part where I'm a lot more unsure as to whether or not I'm what I ought to do here. Actually, let me put in the eyebrows here. This is going to be dark too. So I'm only using one color right now. I'm just everything's purple right now. Okay, so this is, see how much darker it is when I first put down the paint. And that's okay because this is where it's going to be the darkest. But I'm going to have to break my rule soon. There's dark spots here too. Okay, so here I'm going to come in and just be bold and trust the process. Just put in the darkness in here, and hope for the best. Okay. There. Gonna come in here. And I think that's everything. I've covered up a lot of my line work, which means that I'm going to have to either come back into it later or just recreate it. So, like I said, if I've done this correctly, it should all just kind of start coming together on its own. And it seems like it kind of is. I think I'm going to start putting a little bit more mid-tone in here. And again, all of this stuff is meant to be kept simple. That's not what I wanted. That's way too much, and all I wanted was a soft. So I wanted to soften that, so I put more water in here. More water, and I need to dab this. Let me get my like a rag, and then just kind of pick that up with the rag. I want to have this be softer here too. So some of this is supposed to be hard edge and some of it's supposed to be soft. So with just water, I could soften some of these edges. Some of them are not. I need to water it down some more to get more of a soft edge here. Okay, so now I'm gonna come in, and I think what I need to start doing here is I need to start darkening stuff up a little bit more. And how I'm going to do that is by adding a little bit of, I think I'm going to add a little bit of blue, see what happens. I'm going to just take it straight off of the palette and I'm going to mix it in to the drawing. I'm going to test it out here. So there's a little bit of blue here. And like I said, I've lost my line work. So I'm putting in the blue here, and this is, the hair is a little darker than the rest of, see, so the hair, it's interesting that the blue, because the blue is, the value of the blue paint is darker than what I've got as far as the hair so far. And notice how it just makes it pop. I'm not, and it's already coming. It's a little bit better now. I'm seeing that it's a little, it's coming together a little bit more. I mean, it's not even the right color as far as the hair. The hair's not blue, right? The hair's actually black. But by just adding this blue, because it's a darker value, it makes everything else start popping. And then it's layered on top of the purple. It's just like magic. I don't know what it is, but you can get away with doing that. Anywhere else that I need to add to be a little bit darker, like the eyebrows. The eyebrows are a little bit darker because they're the same color of the hair. So I'll do that here. And then I'll put the... So now I'm going back and reinforcing the darkest areas and leaving some of the purple as a secondary darkness, as like a almost a mid-tone. Now I'm not going to go full color on this, so to be honest, I have no idea when I'm going to end or where this ends. How much of this is going to be. What it's going to look like when I'm done. I don't really have a plan. I'm treating this a little bit like as if it's ink. And here I go with the eyelashes. So usually what I do when it comes to this sort of thing is I already have the lines worked out. The line work with the ink. Sometimes I do that, and it's just helpful because then I know how much work to put into stuff. But I didn't do it this time around. I will put in the blacks in here. nostrils. It's not a very precise brush, it's kind of leaving there. So I've got that and this. So now I got to decide what else to do here. Should I just kind of start adding line work, or is there more that I can do? So I'm gonna come in back with the purple, and I'm gonna hit some areas with the purple, like right here. Just make this a little darker. I'll make this a little bit darker. So it's just kind of like reinforcing some of this internal stuff. Maybe here, give it a core shadow. Come in here. Come down here, give this a core shadow. Come in here and do these shadows here for the ear. Core shadow here. At some point I gotta soften some of this stuff. Core. Put another core here. Definitely put a core shadow here. And just kind of define some bits and pieces here. This is a little bit darker. Here's a core shadow here. Here's kind of some muscle. The armpit. So that's good. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's not good. There's no reason to do that. Let me soften that up. Okay, so now that the blue has dried, it has lost some of its darkness. I kind of want it to still be a little bit even darker than this. Also, some of this core shadow is a little bit hard edged, so I'm gonna try to soften some of this over here and just have it melt with its surrounding. So I'm gonna come in here and just kind of soften some of these edges. There we go. This doesn't need to be like that. Okay. So there is a distinct, oops, I messed up here. See how this is just kind of running into each other? I don't want that. I want this to be a hard edge. So I'm gonna try to see, hopefully it's not too wet. No, it's too wet. So I'm gonna dab it, get rid of that wetness, and try it again. Make it a little bit. Maybe I should wait for it to dry more, but I'm very impatient. And I'm going to actually darken this in a little bit more to imply some bounce light coming into here. And I still need to, I'm going to soften this side way more. It's too dark. it's too hard. The edge is too hard. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to need to, I want the lips to stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to just water down this so that it's just that, like that, and then right here I'm gonna leave a little bit of white right in the middle. Also, here's I don't know if I should do this, but I'm gonna come in and do this. The more I define the nose, the worse it may get, so I gotta be real careful not to over define the nose. I'm gonna add a little bit here on this side of the eye. While I'm at it, I'm gonna add a little bit here so to have that feel like it's turning. This definitely needs to be softer still. There, I pulled it out there. There you go. And this is too hard. Soften it. So there are places where you want it to be hard edged, and there are places where you want soft edge. I'm going to go in again with another layer of blue. Okay, so we have it, blue and purple, blue and purple. So I think that's, I don't know if I should go anymore. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna risk it. Okay, before I'm gonna add a little bit of red, dark red into the blue here and see what happens. And the reason I'm doing that is because I just want to darken it even more. Now I usually see that's the thing. Like what I was considering is going in and putting in some of the brown, because if you've seen all my other videos, I put in brown a lot. And brown and black and blue, like this, this kind of the brown and the blue, when they mix, they make a black. And I like to do that. Just to darken things up. But this time I'm not 100% sure I want to do that. I'm not sure. And once I do it, there's no going back. So I decided to just put red and see what happened. Red and blue make purple. So I'm not really adding anything that's not already present. And I'm checking to see what it does. My brush is now wet enough. Okay, here we go. I just don't know what's going to happen sometimes. And I just do it and hope. Okay. Should I do any more? Am I done? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to actually put in a little bit of brown, see what happens. And I'm going to do it here first. And then maybe here. It's okay. It's not doing anything crazy. All right. I think part of the problem here is that defining some of this stuff a little bit more. So I'm going to rinse my brush. Go back with the purple. Okay. This is a little bit blotchy. I'd rather be a little bit smoother. And then maybe again add a little bit of slightly darker bits here. Edges, here's that edge. That is now finally dry. I'm not sure whether or not it's gonna help it all. I think I'm done with the painting part. I think now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in with a crow quill, and I'm gonna add some lines. So everything is purple, and I got brown ink. I don't think I want brown ink now. I think I'm gonna get purple ink out. So we got violet here. I'm gonna shake it. Super messy. Okay, so this is going to be tricky because now I'm adding lines to this, and this is not it's not an ideal way to ink with a camera in my way. And a microphone in my way. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to sharpen some of these ideas. ran out of ink. Okay, so the important bits here, making sure that some of this stuff is much better defined, and especially here. The eyes, so important. Okay. Now the shoulders. This is very tricky to ink. Like I said, it's very difficult to ink with a camera in my face and a microphone near my hand, near my arm. It's very awkward. Where else do I need any darker edge here? Anywhere? Oh, I'm gonna add one right here. I'm gonna add one right here. Right here. here. Let's see, where else? Oh, right there. Right there. Oh. Right here. Ran out of ink. There. Okay, I think that'll do it. And that's it. So I clean out my crow quill, and I'm done. It was very, very simple. Like little mini painting, just a couple of colors only. And like I said, I didn't know exactly where it was going. Oops, sorry about moving the camera. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to very lightly pick away at some of this line, this pencil line. I don't mind if you can see some of it, but I think it's just too dark and it's distracting. There we go. So you can kind of see it a little bit better here. There. And that's it. That's the little painting. It's not super complicated. Fairly straightforward. It was almost like inking, but then it was only 3 colors, and I left like all the light coming in here this way. And I just added the light in here. So yeah, so that's how I did this. Eventually I'm going to probably start going back to full color, but these kinds of things, I mean, if this is as far as I go and it looks this way, then adding a little bit of color, I mean, it can help and it can make it a little bit better, but I don't see how it would be necessary. See what I'm saying? One thing that I may do, just for the heck of it, is add a little bit of a highlight on the eyes, even though the reference that I'm using doesn't even have a highlight, but I like doing it anyway. And it should be coming from the front here, so. And it's not that big a deal. There we go. Just that. it'll probably fade way more as it dries, but that's okay. Doesn't, this is just a little sloppy here. Let me just kind of wet it, get a little bit of blue and fix it. There. Like I said, it's going to dry much lighter, so it's going to only be like very subtle, and that's it. So hopefully you got a lot out of this. If you're interested, I've also recently uploaded my drawing course. If you're interested in drawing, and it's a drawing course specifically for people who believe that talent is necessary to draw, which is not. I teach you the skill to be able to draw from scratch. You know, especially if you know nothing about drawing. Well, I tell you where to start, how to start, and the mindset necessary to start drawing yourself, so you can start getting closer to being able to do something like this on your own. The description, the link to that course is going to be in the description of this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye.